topic. We were just exploring it a couple of moments ago. Our visit with Paul is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. It's called micro-retirement or mini-retirement as well. And it's a popular thing now, becoming increasingly popular among younger workers in our workforce. And we want to explore the ramifications of that. Paul, is it a real thing? Is this happening?
It is. It is. I was telling another gentleman earlier, we have a situation where I'm a baby boomer. Each generation has a change in how they look at work related to, what they were experiences. The one generation always says, oh, I wish they could be more like our generation. The caveat is you've got situations where this generation we're currently in, they experienced the COVID. All generations experienced the same thing at the same time. Mm-hmm. And it put what I would call a pause button on what work looks like, because people were forced to get out of what they were used to into something they weren't used to, be in that environment for a good 2 years, and then come back into a new expectation. And it's not what it was prior to the COVID situation.
It's turning out that really is a factor in so much of our life right now. So the pandemic is over, and maybe people of our generation, Paul, said to ourselves, okay, well, it's over. Let's get right back to work, shall we? It's not happening, though.
Correct. Like I said, we all experience it. How we're going to respond to that is very interesting. Your newer generation, I have 3 that are in the Gen Z generation. And so they were brought up in that. That is the new expectation. And because we have, like this up, you've got the baby boomers who are retiring, and the newer generations are coming into positions of authority, positions of leadership. And so they're having to make that pivotal change because that's now the new expectation. And people like myself who are baby boomers, if we're not willing to change, it's going to seriously impact our bottom line.
Yeah, it really is. And here in our area, of course, the big summit the other day at Carnegie Mellon and the Homer City redevelopment, the project that is happening here, billions of dollars will be spent right here in Indiana County. And workforce issues.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to change the whole face of Western Pennsylvania. But you got to have the people to do the jobs, and our company's willing to say to themselves, all right, I'm going to hire this young employee to my workforce, but there's the possibility that in 6 months he's going to say, you know what, I need to take the next few months off, and I expect my job to be there when I get back. Employment doesn't work that way, does it?
No. It's really industry specific. So my industry is working with folks with disabilities. So we have to do direct care. So that's one of the situations we don't have the ability to say, take some retirement off. Well, we got this covered because you're looking at someone's life, somebody with a serious disability. So it's really industry specific. If you got certain projects, primarily construction, you don't necessarily have that ability to give that retirement concept. But I think certain industries can, and I think employers need to be sensitive to, because bottom line is you want somebody who's going to produce. You don't necessarily want somebody who's going to just be a yes man, because then ultimately, and this is what we're seeing statistically, when people are yes men and yes women, however you want to call it, and they're willing to do whatever's necessary, but they're doing it at the cost of their own mental health, because they're basically trying to meet whatever obligation they have, and that's going to burn people out. And I think that's the reaction coming out of COVID. People got a chance to say, the work schedule that I was doing was not helpful for me with my physical health and my mental health, and I'm going to come back in this situation where they're rethinking what that looks like for them. So it's going to be some compromise between the employer and the employee. Bottom line is the employers need to meet their expectations of what's going to be profitable for them, and work with individuals that are willing to work within the expectations, but also have some compromise on the schedule and what that looks like. So a lot of flexibility on both sides. Yeah,
it's going to be called upon. It's really going to put pressure on the system. And we had that report yesterday that came out that said that within 20 years, robots are going to just upend the entire picture of a workforce anyway. So it's really going to be fascinating to watch.
Well, that's an interesting point you brought up, because a lot of the things, AI, whatever, is going to replace a lot of things that are just quote unquote mechanical that can be done by that technology. And it's going to free up the ability of people to be more creative, more thinking. And so I mentioned earlier to somebody, it's like I'm involved in Strategic Coach, and they have a concept: work less, create more. And so when you're in a situation where you can actually use your imagination, your creativity, you can be more productive depending on what industry you're in. But I think you're going to see more of that because you're going to have technology take some of those mundane tasks that people are getting paid to do that can be replaced. So it's great for an employer because they're looking at cutting expenses, but they're getting the right type of people to be more productive depending on their industry.
Yeah, there's going to be some interesting flexibility type of requirements placed upon companies now in the very near future. So we appreciate. Hey, Paul, we appreciate your getting back with us this morning as well.
Yeah,
thank you.
My pleasure.
Have a great day
Bye.
today. Bye-bye. It is Indiana in the Morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.